Hi guys, this is Banu Prakash. Today the topic of discussion is Ansible. Let's see what is Ansible and how it can be used in the DevOps. So I already told you Ansible is an automation tool. In the same way, we have another automation tool called Jenkins. Only difference between these two is user interface. Jenkins has user interface, but Ansible doesn't have. Ansible also open source, Jenkins also open source. But Ansible is most popular for installing the applications, configurations, deployments, and cloud provisioning. Cloud provisioning means launching AWS EC2 instances or creating the S3 buckets or creating the RDS instances, database instances, or any kind of cloud provisioning. It can be AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. And Ansible, since Ansible is open source and anyone can use that, it doesn't have any user interface. But Ansible has another concept called Ansible Tower. It has user interface, but you need to pay. And Ansible use a file called playbook. So playbook.yaml is the file which we write our script in that, and it is based on YAML language. So it is open source as I already told you, and unlike Jenkins, it does not require any agents. You can, if you have one machine, and if you can install Ansible in that, you can connect any number of servers from that machine. So what are the prerequisites to learn and implement Ansible? You need to have some Linux basics, and then you need to have some YAML basics, and then you need to know how to configure SSH between multiple servers. So since you already aware what are the operating system and Linux system basics, I'm jumping to the concept called YAML basics. So if you in the YAML language, all the things are specified in the key value pair. So what is key value? It will be having one key and the value will be specified towards the right side. In the box here, I have mentioned sample YAML file. All YAML file starts with 3 hyphens like this. So after that, this guy mentioned hyphen gems. Here you can see any keyword which is before colon represents key, and all the data after that key becomes a value. Here name is a key, James John is a value, role is a key, 34 is a value, and here likes is a key, and this guy mentioned multiple values for the same key. So if you wanted to iterate or if you wanted to assign multiple values, this is the way. This will become the single key, and these are all the 3 different values for the same key. So how and what SSH configuration? SSH configuration means secure shell. So why SSH is needed? If you wanted to connect to different machines without any password, you will go for SSH configuration. Since I told you Ansible works agentless, only Ansible control machine we have, and whatever the installation or deployments or cloud provisioning we wanted to do, we can do from the Ansible control machine. One machine is enough for us. From this machine, if you wanted to implement any configuration or any installation on the different servers, we will connect from this Ansible control machine to different servers, and then we will perform our task. Here I can see there is no limit for the Ansible installations or configurations. Any number of servers you can connect to Ansible control machine. Ansible control machine is nothing but where we have installed our Ansible. Server machines does not need to be have Ansible. But how Ansible works? By using SSH connectivity. SSH means if you don't want to connect to two servers without a password, that is called SSH. So while at the time of connecting to a different server, you don't need to provide any password. Let's see how we can configure SSH between two servers. This is the procedure to configure SSH between two servers. So if you see ID is a normal shell command. It will give you which ID you are logged into that box. PWD means just present working directory. And if you type SSH-keygen, it will generate public and private keys for that particular machine. So once you generate the keys, you need to copy id_rsa.pub file to the destination server. That is how we can configure the SSH. Since we are going to perform this activity in the AWS, we need to do this setup bit differently. And all the Ansible, all the AWS EC2 instances, we are going to connect using the PEM key. So that is why we need to copy our locally downloaded PEM key to the any one of the AWS EC2 instance where we can install our Ansible. I will launch 4 servers now in the AWS EC2, and among those 4, one I will use as Ansible control machine. So from that one machine, I will configure SSH to the remaining 3 machines, so that without password, I will be able to connect to all the 3 boxes. So first I will launch those 4 machines, and then I will show you how we can connect the SSH configuration. I logged into AWS EC2 and I'm going to running instances. Now I will launch instances. In the previous session I have terminated 3, so it is showing in the list. I'm searching for Ubuntu and I'll select 16.04. You can select 18.04 also. And I'm selecting one server T2 medium. You can select whatever choice you want and select 4. Click on review launch. Click on previous. Select the Linux security group. So in the Linux security group, I have allowed all the ports. Click on the review and launch. Since I already have the key pair downloaded to my local machine, I have selected that one. If you don't have key pair, you can generate a one. I think it might take a couple of seconds to launch these machines. Meanwhile, I will navigate to the git bash and to the folder where I have downloaded my AWS key pair. So I have placed my key pair in the download section. Yeah. Now I will choose one among these 4 as Ansible. I have chosen this as the Ansible server, remaining as normal servers. Server 1, I name it, and server 2. This tagging is not needed, but for convenience, I'm tagging it. So first one I have chosen Ansible server. Remaining 3 I have chosen basic servers where I wanted to perform my tasks. I will select Ansible server, click on actions, and I click on connect. So click on the SSH client, copy the SSH command, open the git bash, paste the command. Now you will be able to connect to the Ubuntu which is launched in the AWS. I will clear the screen and I will perform update. Sudo is mandatory, otherwise we will not be able to do update. Now it is refresh it in the remote repositories. Now I wanted to do SSH configuration between Ansible server to all remaining 3 servers. To do that, you need to type first command. What is the first command? Is the ID. Let me show you. If I type ID, it will show Ubuntu. That means I have logged into the server using ID called Ubuntu. Now I will go to the next command. It is that pwd. I wanted to make sure I'm in the home directory, home Ubuntu. Fine. Now I will type sh-keygen. Simply type and press enter. Now it will generate the ID underscore RSA. It is generating under home Ubuntu.ssh. I'm fine with this thing, so I'm pressing enter. You can keep on pressing enter until it generates all the files. If you can see, it has generated files under home Ubuntu.ssh is the folder under that ID underscore RSA, and another file called ID underscore RSA.pub. Okay, let's validate that. lspspace-ltr.ssh. You can see these two files are created after we run this ssh-keygen command. Now we'll go to the next command, va. So all the Ubuntu based EC2 instances we are going to connect to using AWS key pair. Now I need to copy the AWS key pair from my local machine to the Ansible control machine so that I can configure the SSH. For that, I am opening another git bash and navigating to the downloads folder, and I will copy the content of my AWS key pair. So what is the key pair name? Let me validate that. Yeah, the key pair name is, this is the one. Oh, second time it, okay. Yeah, this is the key pairing. You can cat the content. Yeah, now I use the cat command and I'm going to the AWS Ansible machine and I will use the command called, what is the command? VI space. Yeah, I'll copy this command and paste it here. So what it is doing, this tilde command represents the home directory. So that is nothing but home Ubuntu. So after that .ssh, after that bono-key-paired pem. I'll press enter and I will copy the content from another git bash where I used the cat command. So I have copied the content, clear the screen and go to the .sh and let's verify whether the file is copied or not. Let me see if the file is copied. Yes, it is copied. I'll clear the screen. Now I will assign the permissions. To assign the permission, this is the command chmod 600. You can directly run this command. So the tilde symbol which is used for the representation of home directory, that is /home/ubuntu. After that .ssh and then key pair name. Or if you're already in the key pair location, you can directly use the command called chmod 600 and then enter the pem key and press enter. Nothing wrong in that. You can come out of that directory. Now if I see I'm in the home Ubuntu folder, I will go and run the another command. So this is the command to configure SSH. So what I'm doing, cat is the command I'm using. So under the .sh, I have id underscore rs.pub file. I'm taking the content of this file and pushing to authorized keys file. This is placed into the different server. Now let me take the another server IP address. So this is a server one I wanted to configure. I hope you are following with me. So what I'm doing, I'm configuring SSH connection between Ansible server and server one. So I need to configure to server one because For that, I need to select the IP address of that machine. I'll click Actions and click on Connect. Now click on SSH client. I will take the IP address and username of that particular machine. I'll go back to the Ansible control mesh. Or let me frame the command in Notepad. Yeah, this is the command. In that, I'll copy. Here, I'll paste the actual server value. So this is my server 1. So for your reference, I will keep it all the details here. Server 1, server 2, server 2, let me copy, cancel. I will go to server 2, click on Actions, click on Connect, click on SSH client, and copy this thing and paste it here. Remove the starting part. We don't require that. And now server 3 enable, server 3. So again, you need to go to the server 3, click on Actions, click on Connect, click on SSH client, copy the command and paste it here. So now I will take the server 1 IP address and paste it here. The remaining command will be same. So since the command is same in front of you, I will edit it. For server 1, I'm placing it here. For server 2, I'm placing it here. For server 3, placing it here. So you need to change the server to IP address. This is the DNS name we are using. You can use IP address also. This is the server 3. Now we have framed the commands for connecting between two multiple servers. So now I already logged into the Ansible control machine. From this machine, I will run this command. This is the command to configure the SSH. I'll paste this thing. Once you paste, it will ask the confirmation. Once you say yes, it is connected. Now the Ansible control machine and the server 1 is connected. In the same way, I wanted to connect the server 2. Paste the command, press enter. It will ask you the confirmation and that is done. Do the same thing for server 3. So what we have done, from the Ansible control machine, we have connected to 3 different servers. That is SSH way. Now let me verify. How we can verify? You can take server 1 IP address or the DNS name. Anything which you are comfortable. Since I am already having DNS name, I take this thing and I will type SSH space, paste the DNS name of that server 1 along with the username. If you press enter without password, you should be able to connect to the server 1. You can see it is directly connected to the server 1 without asking the password. If you wanted to come out of this machine, you need to type exit. Okay. Now let me type PWD and ls. Nothing is there. If you see, we again come out of this server 1 and came back to the Ansible control machine. So no need to confuse. What we are doing, we are configuring SSH between Ansible control machine to 3 different servers. The procedure is just to generate the SSH. Let me show you here. Just to generate the SSH keys using SSH key gen file. Once you generate the SSH keys, you need to copy the key pair from your local machine to Ansible control machine, and from there you need to provide the required permissions. Once you provide the permissions, you use this command to configure the SSH between Ansible control machine to the server which you are going to specify here. This is the path we are giving either for server 1 or server 2 or server 3. Once you run this command, you can validate the configuration, that is connection, using this command. So once it is able to connect to the different server without any password, that means the SSH configuration is done properly. So these are the commands we use. Now let me go to the next one topic. Let me show you what are the different concept and components of Ansible. You can see whenever you wanted to work on Ansible, these are the terminologies you always face. One is Ansible control machine, where we are going to install our Ansible, and second is HOSTS. HOSTS means the list of servers. So in which of the servers we are going to do our task, that is called Ansible. Yeah. So HOST is the file where we will define the list of servers. Or we can say there is no limit to define the number of servers. We have a couple of servers here. You can mention their IP address or their DNS servers names in this HOSTS file. Previously, the same HOSTS file was called as inventory. Any name you can call. Ansible controller machine is the machine where you will install your Ansible. Playbook.yaml is the file where you will define your script. In that, you will define your task. Whatever the task you wanted to perform on these particular servers, you will define in the playbook.yaml. So these are the three commands you have to use to install Ansible. I'm using Ansible 2.7. If you wanted to install default Ansible, you can ignore the first command and run the other two commands. So let me run these three commands and then we install. Since I am already in the Ansible control machine, I'll copy this command and paste it here. Now the repository is getting added. I will take the update command. Yes, it is ended and it is getting updated. Now I will run the Ansible. Yeah, update is done, and this command will install Ansible on the Ansible control machine. I think it might take a couple of seconds. So the Ansible installation is completed on the Ansible control machine. So now let's write a very simple playbook and run that playbook. You see on the screen, this is the world biggest playbook, I can say. I'm just joking. This is a very simple playbook. You can see what we have done here. We are defining the host is the file. In that we are mentioning the 127.0.0.1. That means this is a local host IP address. It will only run on the Ansible control machine. And this is the playbook.yml which we are going to define right now. HOSTS, we are specifying all. All means whatever the host you are specifying in the list here, and all of the hosts this task will run. So what is the task? Task action is ping. You know, ping is the command. It will check whether the destination server is online or not. So this is the command to run your playbook. Ansible-playbook -hi host. That means you are specifying host is the file where I have placed all my servers. Playbook.yml is the file where you will defining your task. -hyphen connection is equal local. This flag is required when you are running this, when you are specifying your host as localhost. If you are not specifying localhost, then this flag in the end is not required. Let's run this playbook and see how it is going. I'll go to the Ansible control machine, clear the screen, and in that first I will specify host. In the host, I will specify 127.0.0.1. This is the localhost IP address. Now I will specify playbook.yml. In that, I will copy this content and paste it here. So whatever the Ansible playbook which you are going to write, this is all following YAML basics. That means, let me show you here. Here there are two spaces. If you keenly observe here, there are two spaces. This indentation is mandatory. If you by mistake, if you give one extra space, it will throw error. If you see HOSTS file and task file, both are in the same line. And whatever the value of HOSTS, it is maintaining 2 spaces gap. If you keenly observe here, it is maintaining 2 spaces gap. In the same way, tasks also it is maintaining 2 spaces gap. If you by mistake give extra 1 space here, it will throw error. Now let me run this thing. I have created HOSTS file. I have created playbook.yml. Now I will run this thing using this command. See, the Ansible playbook is running and it is already completed. If you can see play, it is running for the all the hosts which are specifying the HOSTS file. Gathering the facts, it is getting the details. Ping is the command which we asked it to perform. It may ping it to the localhost server and it is giving the message okay. That means the server is online. And this is a summary what is happened. So nothing is changed because we only simply use the command called ping. Unreachable is is 0. That means server is online. Failed is equal to 0. Now no task is failed. So OK is equal to means our playbook is successful. Now I want to ping the 3 other servers we have configured in SSH way. For that, I will take the DNS name. You can take DNS name or IP address. You don't need to specify the username. You can simply specify the DNS name. This is the first DNS name, and I will take the second DNS name also. And I will also take the third DNS name, which belongs to the server 3. Yes, these 3 servers I wanted to run the playbook. So we don't need to change anything. We only have changed the HOSTS file and run in the playbook again. Now if you see, it is going to run for the all of the 3 servers which we have configured the SSH. If you see the first, it actually checked in the local host, that is 127.0.0.1, and then it checked for the other 3 servers. So what is the task? Task is ping. Ping means it needs to check the server is online or not. So all the tasks will be performed by Ansible in parallel. So that is why you can see it will take less amount of time. It will not take much time. You can see there is no failure in the Ansible task. If you see the summary, there is no failure, there is no unreachability, there is nothing is changed because we are only simply running the ping command. All you can see OK is equal to 2. OK is equal to why? One task is to gather the facts, another task is to ping the server. These 2 things are completed successfully. So this is the basic hello world kind of concept for running the Ansible playbooks. So Ansible can be used for many different purposes, and this is the starting point for you to get started how we can connect it SSH between multiple servers. Basically, the SSH connection needed between the Ansible control machine and all the different servers. Once you are able to connect, and then whatever the task you wanted to perform, you will be able to perform. Either installing something across all the servers, or uninstallation, or a deployment, or configuration. Anything can be performed across any number of servers. For example, if you wanted to install Jenkins in the 1000 servers, you just need to configure SSH. Once that is done, if you run the Ansible playbook in all the 1000 servers, Jenkins will be installed parallelly, and it will take less amount of time. And using Ansible, all these operating system upgrades or any task which is needs to be installed on the multiple servers can be performed using Ansible. Thank you.